Now, let's talk about the second part of this lesson about scouting media environment and ecologies. As mentioned earlier, your audience is your target market. They are the people you are writing for. In this lesson, I want to emphasize again that it's very important that you really consider who you are writing for or speaking to ensure that your purpose in communicating is achieved. So for example, in here, in this ad, we see that there's a lost dog. And if you will take a look at the descriptions, it's really well described because whoever will see that dog, aside from the picture, will know that you are really talking about this particular dog, the breed, the age, and others. So physical, the other descriptions, and it will really help find that dog. So in this case, let's now move on to the different types of audiences. First, your primary audience. Ito yung type of audience na talagang kinakausap mo directly. Sila yung talagang may pinaka-direct na interest sa iyong writing. This is the person that you most need to persuade and account for, the primary audience. Meanwhile, the secondary audience might also take interest in your writing. Kahit di sila yung direct na audience mo, pwede pa rin silang maging part ng iyong kakausapin, but not directly. These are, for example, other concerned students, faculty, local environment groups, and others. Pwede silang maka-persuade indirectly sa iyong primary audience. The tertiary audience may also be considered. Parang sila yung, kunyari, nakakita lang din ng iyong sinulat across, for example, Google, YouTube, and other platforms, and may still make a judgment based on what they see. Pero parang hindi talaga sila directly yung iyong audience. Meanwhile, your social audience, these are the people that are on social media, for example, who are reading, responding to, commenting on, and retweeting what you write. They can spread your message and create interest, and will also help your secondary audiences notice your writing. Your social audience will help you really reach your primary and secondary audiences. Dahil nga technologically advanced na rin tayo ngayon, we have to also pay attention to our audience on social. Digital audiences, on the other hand, as they are not the same as your social audience, but they are your crawlers. They are your bots. They are your search engines, web robots. So, kailangan mo ring matutong magsulat for them because lalo na kapag nasa Google na yan, nasa internet na yan, all the computers can see are the codes, and kailangan mo ring malaman yung techniques para kunin ng Google ang iyong write-up. So we'll talk more about that in the coming lessons. So when we write for the web. We also have transnational audiences. These are the people who are from different nationalities. So maaaring dahil nga malawak na ngayon ng ang impact ng internet sa atin, when we know that other people from other countries may also view or read our content, mas magiging careful tayo ngayon. Uy, baka I need to speak in English, or I need to consider cultural impact when I write or when I speak, kasi baka may ma-offend, di ba? Or your audience might not understand what you are saying if you speak in your native tongue. So yun, you have to consider those. We also have, funny as it may seem, but yes, we also have extraterrestrial audiences. What if we have, sabi nung author um, of the book, New Media Writing, what if we have alien visitors? How would a being from another planet consume our message? For for the longest time, we've had conspiracy theories about aliens, and some say they really exist. They're like in another dimension. So if you are watching a particular sci-fi movie and there's an alien there, baka naman nga totoo. And whether or not they're true or they're just around us, so yun, pwede ka rin daw mag-communicate for extraterrestrial audiences. Now, we also have future audiences. So these are the people or beings that may also consume or read or listen to your message, your content. So you try to predict who your future audiences will be like. So for example, yung noong unang panahon, hindi naman siguro alam ng mga naunang tao na tayo nandito na ngayon, but we can see, for example, symbols on caves. Diba? They drew yung nasa paligid nila. They used, for example, clay pots to communicate, or they drew on stone. So, hanggang ngayon, na-preserve yun, and we can see that they are also capable of communicating with one another. Nagkataon lang na iba yung medium and wala pa masyadong technology, but then we understood it. So that's the benefit of that. If you preserve your message right now, like thinking about what will happen in the future, maaring makakommunicate din tayo sa kanila. And we know that, yan, yung dyan papasok yung mga archives, diba? When we have a time capsule, for example, or a letter that has been written before na na-preserve. So for future generations, makikita nila yung naging karanasan natin ngayon. There. So that's it for the second part. I'll see you in the next part.